off with preseason standout so far. We are 2 games into the preseason, and I know why everybody's here right now, by the way, and we're going to get to that topic. But we got 2 games into the preseason, and I want to know, who are your guys' standouts thus far? Who is someone who you say, undoubtedly, maybe they were on the roster bubble for you, but now they have officially cemented themselves on this roster? Logan's got a big old smile over there. So, Logan, we're going to kick it off with you.
Okay.
Yeah, not that this player is necessarily on, the bubble per se. I don't really think that's true here, but just a guy that, I was a little worried about in general. Haven't said the nicest things in the world because he wasn't good last year. I'm very encouraged by what I've seen from Zach Carter so far. I mean, it's night and day from what we've seen last year. He was a 3rd rounder, I believe. So you expected a little bit of him coming out, and he just didn't really do anything at all. But it's your first year. It's your rookie year. That doesn't mean you're going to be a bust forever. That doesn't mean you're going to just have a horrible career. That stuff happens for whatever reason. Maybe you expect the NFL to be a little easier. Maybe you have a harsh reality check. Whatever it is, whatever happened, he looks like a completely different football player. He's playing so much better than he ever showed last year. And you're kind of seeing some of those glimpses that we saw of it. I know it's the preseason. I know backup lineman. I know. But at the end of the day, he's producing. He's producing at a very high level in the preseason, which is completely different than anything what we saw from him last year. So I think, that's the position that Bengals need. They need that 3-tech. They need that pass rush. They need a guy that can do a little bit of everything. And that's exactly why they drafted him. And yeah, he was pretty terrible last year, but he's looking really damn good so far in the preseason. Still a preseason, still a lot of things to come, but very encouraged what I'm seeing on him so far.
Evan.
Yeah, I look at the young pair of wide receivers, both Iosivas and Charlie Jones. We know Iosivas has looked good and been reliable target for both of these backup quarterbacks. They constantly look his direction when they need something to happen and need someone to make a play. I think that speaks a lot of where he is. A lot of people thought that with his athleticism, the lack of competition, the lack of polish, it might be a while before he could contribute at all and would kind of be maybe toward the back end of the wide receiver rotation and maybe game day inactive. Now, I think he's shown that despite not having the most polish in the world, that he has the ability to use his tools right now to help contribute to this team. And Charlie Jones, we talked about how game 1, a little underwhelming performance of what you'd expect based on the standout news you've heard from camp. We mentioned here last week about how he was almost 60-40 playing wide and out wide and in the slot. Not really the role he projects for. We said maybe closer to like 80-85% in the slot. He came out this week, looked great, and 100% of his snaps in the slot. So looked more natural, kind of just looked more comfortable too, and kind of had that standout performance that you wanted to see from him to keep that good momentum going forward despite the injury. So those are my 2 guys.
There's a guy that nobody in Bengals Dome is talking about. There is nobody seems to even be paying attention to this guy at all. And it's kind of shocking to me. He's in the wide receiver room. He's impressed me this preseason camp, and I can't believe I'm saying this, man. I think he has an uphill climb to make the roster, but I would love to see him make the roster. He's a nephew of Bo Jackson. Shedrick Jackson has looked impressive to me. Yeah. He has the speed to threaten, defenses deep down the football field, and I understand there's an uphill climb. You got people like Trent Taylor, you got Trent Irwin, you got Stanley Morgan, you got Andrei Iosivas, you got so many different people who offer so much upside from a special team standpoint, and we've seen game film on. But man, I really like Shedrick Jackson.
You're already keeping 7.
I know, Evan.
You can't keep 8.
Evan, I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Who, though?
Can you
pick one? I'm gonna make you.
Why
pick.
are we doing this to me?
I'm gonna make you pick. I'm gonna make you pick. I live to make you a little uncomfortable, Malik.
I like that.
Gotta keep you on your toes, man.
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins.
Jamar's gone. Jamar was his first choice.
No.
Oh my God.
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Charlie Iosivas.
You're looking at Stanley Morgan or Trent Irwin, pretty much.
Stanley Morgan. You can't do that. You can't do it though.
Yeah, he's so good on special teams, and he'd be picked
up. Me, I would make a business decision. I'd make a business decision. I say Charlie Jones, that shoulder. That shoulder doesn't look like it's too healthy. Let me put you on IR for and Shedrick Jackson make the team. I know you can't do it.
Right.
But for me, Shedrick Jackson I think he could have a bright future with the Bengals. He's probably not, in all likelihood, not going to make this roster.
Right.
But man, I really like Shedrick Jackson, man, and what he offers. I really do. I got to be honest with you guys. And I feel like, could you imagine him as the punt returner?
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff there, and I think obviously, kind of talking about him. There's a lot of you probably don't even know too much about him, but kind of when he was signed, and you read into him, his coaches at Auburn loved him. And that's a theme. That's a theme with the Bengals. They kind of go after those kind of guys, and he's very well thought of over there, and they talk very highly of him. Always working, and just one of those guys. And like I said, those are kind of the guys the Bengals like to keep around. So maybe it's not this year. Shoot, maybe it's not next year, but he'll probably got a feeling he'll probably be around for a while.
Yeah, I just love everything that guy could potentially bring to the football team. I just wish we had the space on this football team to say it. If you guys could do us a huge favor, give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. I appreciate you guys for all tuning in to State of the Jungle, because I know the GOAT is in town right now and everybody's rushing to watch him either live or on television. And Messi's, I'm staying far away from downtown Cincinnati. I was there for lunch and I already saw the parking lots getting a little packed over there. So I hope everybody's enjoying their time out there. But yeah, Shedrick Jackson's a guy to me that I really like. You all guys know I love Dominique Davis as well. I'm trying to think, is there anybody else that I'm missing?
I think there's people who look good.
Yeah.
Because there's so much depth and so much talent on this team. I feel like there's so much that's set. He made a good point. The two defensive linemen, Zach Carter and Cam Sample, who looked like they started to kind of develop toward the back end of last year when Trey Hendrickson was dealing with his injury. It's been encouraging to see them both continue and build on that. So that's good for even already more depth on an already good defensive line. I think that's good. We saw the safeties deliver and be everything they needed to be to kind of quell those worries and fears that people had about Von Bell and Jesse Bates being out, and then just suddenly not having a back end or just being a giant gaping hole on the back end. So yeah, I feel like it's a lot of confirmation of things that we already knew, like Jonah is going to be a competent right tackle. The wide receivers can contribute. The safeties are going to be just fine. So I feel like there's been maybe not as many surprises, but a lot of good confirmation that they're trending in the right direction in a lot of spots.
Yeah, I agree. I love some of you guys are saying in the comment section, you guys are announcing who you guys thought looked pretty good. We got a lot of Shedrick Jackson fans. Glad I'm not on that island alone, although Evan probably looked at me like I was a little crazy there.
No, it's just tough, man. It sucks. That's the part of being good. This is the atrophy they talk about, where people start pinching all your good players, right? Where you can't possibly keep all your good players, and eventually people start picking at you, to where, again, if you cut any of these safeties, if you cut Tyson Anderson, he'd be picked up immediately. If you cut any of these backup wide receivers, they'd be picked up somewhere immediately. I mean, 100%. Tennessee might trade for them, like, for some of these guys on the back end. They may be looking at Kwame Lassiter like, So I don't know.
But yeah, no, I get what you mean 100%.
That's there's just teams out there that just could use any of the talent.
We got some J2 Fairley love. We got some Chupo love. Yeah, man. I thought Jonah. How do we think Jonah looked at right tackle? I thought he looked pretty good.
He looked good, man. I feel like maybe Logan can speak to this a little bit too. Is maybe how awkward Carmen looked trying to play right tackle made Jonah look better when he was out there. It looked more natural to him, which we expect because Jonah has done this before at a high level at Alabama. So versus Carmen, who's probably been playing left tackle going back to high school. I know he never played there in college. Then that's something where I go, okay, yeah, it doesn't look like that Carmen's one of those guys who can just flip sides of the line, and Jonah looks like he's just getting back in his swing.
Right. And